and to an extent they can even block your Ghana card. And I think in the long run, that alone will keep the incidence of mobile money fraud. But what Ghanaians are also more concerned about is how the manner in which this one is going to be conducted. So I believe the minister and the president are going to put in place measures to make sure this is very much convenient and simple. And at the end of the day, we will not complete this process and go back to square one again. Thank you.
And speaking of Momo fraud, we understand that the gentleman sitting in front here has an account. Is that correct? A very terrible one, of course, relating to Momo fraud, is it?
Yes, thank you very much. And this whole thing that they really want to do, I think it is a very great thing that they want to do because it will help a whole lot of Ghanaians. But I feel that it is too bad to the extent that sometimes when they are giving some consideration to certain things, they don't look at the effect that has already been done. To me, on the 11th of March, I think that was last week ago, I was in my hostel. I'm a student at UG, and a certain number called me claiming that he sent money to me, so therefore he needs a reversal of that money. So I didn't mind him because when I checked on my phone, I didn't get any transaction like that. So it was within some couple of minutes ago, and then a particular number 2 called claiming they are MTN people, and I should give the details to them, and they'll do a whole transaction for me. So I didn't mind them. Instant, I called MTN people, and then I wanted to alert them about the whole incident, and then to verify if my account is not under any threat. They told me it was saved. Within the next 5 minutes, about 4,387 Ghana cedis was wiped off from their account because it was a business account. So someone came to buy something 11 cedis and a person sent. When I checked my current balance, it was 12 cedis instead of it being increasing. So I called them instant, and then they told me to dial the short code and then report the issue. When they knew very well that the short code is just taking details, when you get to the part of the number, I take only one number. The report that I've summarized for them is about 3 numbers. So it seems like sometimes they don't care about how you have lost the money. What they just care is about the update that they think they are going to bring it on board. Yeah. And then my question to them is that with this whole SIM card new registration that they want to do, have they considered some of our brothers who are at the diaspora? How are they going to do theirs? Because I could remember some time ago, one of my brother who is at the US was being registered, the SIM card was being registered in Ghana here, and then he went there. When it was time for the 2023 SIM card registration, he couldn't do it. And since most of his money that was in there were all gone, because the person who did the SIM registration for him was already gone.
To the system. Oh my goodness, that's a very sad one. Well, probably it's just stressing this whole issue about checking SIM fraud. You have a take on this?
Yeah,
quickly.
I was to share. Also, a friend of mine with this SIM card registration. If we say the previous government didn't do a proper SIM registration, I disagree with that. A friend of mine assisted his friend to register his SIM card with his Ghana card, and his friend had a case at the police station. The friend of mine was arrested, and when he was arrested, they asked him, "Is this number your number?" And he said no. And they said, "No, your Ghana card is linked to this number, and we trace you through your GPS address." So meaning, truly, his Ghana card was linked to the phone number. So I believe if they say the private government didn't do a proper SIM card registration, I don't agree with them. This current government and this current minister is saying he's going to do a proper SIM card registration. And how sure is he? And then I don't know, maybe he believes Ghanaians think he's going to do a proper SIM card registration. Maybe that's what he thinks, but some of us do not feel he's going to do a proper SIM card registration because we've seen some of the promises he made and how they went. The promise.
You just have your own doubts.
I think he just come to do. He's just saying whatever he wants to say, but he shouldn't make it as if he is coming to do a proper SIM card registration and somebody did a shoddy job. Right. No, he shouldn't discredit somebody's job just because. And then he said he is the leader of the Storm Academy. We have receipts and videos of him saying he's not going to register when we were doing the registration, and then now he wants Ghanaians to go and register during his time, and now I'm also the leader of the Storm Academy. Yeah, because when I dial *402*1, my Ghana card is linked to my SIM card, and I'm not going to register again. I'm not the leader of the Storm Academy. Previously, he was the leader of the Storm Academy, and now I am the leader of the Storm Academy. We have our group there, and we are also not going to register. It's very simple.
Two wrongs will not make right, is it?
My SIM card is already registered. It's already linked to my Ghana card. If I dial I have about 3 SIM cards, and if I dial *402*1, *1#,
all of them
show up. All the SIM cards that are linked to my Ghana card, they all show up. Even my younger brother that assisted him with registering phone number of my Ghana card, yes, the number also shows up. Right. So I think.
So the system you believe is preserved.
It's preserved and it's working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just welcome my guest for this morning. Dr. Ezekiel Ejekum Obey is with the New Patriotic Party. He's a member of the National Communications team of the party. So he's also been looking through the statements coming through from the immediate past sector minister. I'll just read excerpts shortly. Ivan Innocent Kyei is a youth activist joining us this morning. And then we have Solomon Owusu, who's Director of Communications for the, I was almost going to say new, I'm sorry, UP, United Party.
Why didn't you make a mistake?
No, I'm sorry.
With Ejekum's party.
But you should have told your friends to bring me some salah meat so that I'll recollect.
They won't bring. They won't bring. When the salah, all of them, they go into hibernation.
King Solomon.
Oh,
yeah. Good morning. So you didn't get some of the meat. I'm sorry.
Oh, they won't bring. But we are fine.
We'll get some after here.
We're fine.
Okay. So let's get to the statement. You should be seeing that on your screens. I think about now. It's a very lengthy write-up. So what I want to do now is to possibly just bring you extracts, some of the key points. There are some claims out there. The first claim from the presidency that the NIA system is not linked to that of the communications ministry, and then the claims that that we've heard around that the then NIA boss, Professor Atifua, was not in good terms with the former minister. She's responded to at least these two claims and also asking the sector minister now to be circumspect. So let me just get to some parts of that. You should be having excerpts on your screen right now. And I just want to read that part where she disclaims all of that. Okay, so it's here. It says that now a lot has been said to create the impression that the problems with the exercise were because of personal issues or bad blood between institutions. This is simply not true. I have known Professor Atifua for many years, and at no point in time did we ever stop speaking to each other, either personally or professionally. We may have had our own disagreements, but I'm too well, the statement continues to say, but I'm too professional to allow differences of opinion to affect my work in any way. The only issue was that the National Identification Authority did not allow SIM registration, the system, to connect to the database, their database for biometric verification at that second stage. So that was the challenge. That, however, according to the minister, the statement I'm reading now, she says that, however, did not prevent us from compiling a comprehensive database of all activated SIMs in Ghana. And I thank all well-meaning Ghanaians once again for their cooperation, which ensured that the mass registration exercise was successful, completed with the registration of almost 30 million SIM cards. That SIM registration database exists and is hosted securely by the National Electronic Transactions Regulator, NITA, in the National Data Center. So at least that paragraph will clarify her position to us as to what she left behind in terms of the whole registration exercise. Doc, let me start off with you, because I'm sure that a lot of communication will go on even within the NPP, knowing that claims were being made against the former minister that the exercise wasn't proper. That's the term the incumbent minister is using, that they will do a proper registration exercise. Looking at what we are hearing from the minister now and what you know, she's confirming at least that there was no verification, the system hasn't been linked between NIA and what was done.
Good morning, Blessed.
Yeah.
And good morning to my colleagues. Good to see Solo again. Senior Fafanto.
Oh, you miss him, man. Yeah.
And our brothers in studio with us.
Yeah.
Clearly, the NDC just wants to hold on to anything at all, just to do what they want to do. And I will take lessons from what our brother shared with us. The vehement disapproval of the processes when the NPP wanted to register as SIMs. And it even predates what the NDC even said about the NIA registration. In fact, you are aware that the party admonished its party members not to even register for the Ghana card. I'm happy that in the end, the exercise and the policy to register each and every Ghanaian to give a unique identification to every Ghanaian has become the root upon which all the discussion stems from.
Yeah.
So you stood against it, admonished your colleagues and party members not to even show up to register. Yet, years down the line, we've all come to see the importance of the Ghana card.
Oh, for you, it's about the Ghana card and not even the
That was even the start of all these issues. They kicked against the registration and publicly admonished their party members not to even show up and register. Today, all the discussions we are having is as a result of a wonderful rollout of the Ghana card registration by the NPP. And I think we should first start by commending the NPP for a successful rollout of the Ghana card registration. We come to the proper registration itself, which is the SIM card registration. And like my brother said, once again, we saw the opposition to the registration of your SIM card. Is the NDC trying to tell us that they didn't care whose act was gone then? They didn't care who stood to lose anything then? They didn't care the effect of fraudsters in the system then, simply because they were not in power. And I say this with a heavy heart, and we say sorry to our brother who had to lose part of his monies electronically. But it speaks to the people who are managing our country today. In opposition, they'll blow hot, they are in power, and they want to blow cold. You stood against it. Why the need to push us through the stress again? You encountered or enumerated various reasons why Ghanaians should not waste their time to go and queue and register. That was costly, certainly it was a waste of time, and thirdly, the NPP or the government of Ghana could do without the registration of the SIM cards.
Why are we here today? The justification, their point on how chaotic it was at the time doing the registration.
So chaotic in terms of what? Registration centers?
Well, I recall then going to one of the centers somewhere around Ring Road here. The numbers were quite massive.
Are we saying today?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just giving you
that today. Should we go out to register? Government is going to provide canopies at every center.
He says proper. I don't know.
Government is going to provide air conditioners in a makeshift canopies or accommodation for everyone to go and sit in. Are we saying government is going to provide good and staffing chairs, one that can comfortably relax your spine at every center for people to go and queue and register? Can the government assure, even with 10% confidence rate,
Doc, are you saying that the exercise? Are you saying that at the time the chaos we had, which even led to the minister extending the deadline? I don't know if you recall. Was not a genuine concern for perhaps anybody to raise, not necessarily the NDC, but any other, because Ghanaians were raising that point of concern at the time. That what would change?
I'm asking today if we are asked to go and register, and I go to Telecel office.
Right.
I mean, my SIM card is Telecel.
Right.
I go to Telecel office. Government is going to provide me an air-conditioned canopy.
Is that what you want?
What brings about the chaos? It's the fact that people flood at the centers, and there's a long queue, and people become impatient with the system.
And they want air conditioners.
And technically, the system becomes slow.
And they want air conditioners?
Which is very normal with any technology we use, that at any point in time, anything at all can surface. Is government assuring
us? Are you not being extreme when you say
is government assuring us that there will be no such chaos? Because the only thing that will relax people is when they go, no matter how long the queues are, is that they are comfortable. They are comfortable. At least that's where they are seated. If your in-studio people you have here today came and they were standing instead of sitting comfortably, if they came to your studio and there was no air conditioning and the place was warm or hot, they will start agitating. In fact, their bodies will give whatever their state of mind away. Is government going to assure all of us that we are going to see air conditioners standing and providing the comfort we need at every center? Can the government assure us that 10% of whatever they preached against or were the problems that characterize the previous registration will not be seen this time?
Dr. Eto, I'm asking if you're not being extreme.
I'm not being extreme.
On that end.
You brought that angle, and I'm asking those questions to assure us that indeed we will go there and we might even find papaya around to even feed us. That's the only thing that will bring comfort. That I go, no matter how long the queue is, I'm not thirsty, I'm not hungry, I'm not hot, I'm not wasting my time at the center. If government can assure us that, and we juxtapose all those conditions with the ones we had earlier, then they'll be justified.
Is that going to be your basic definition of proper registration?
What did you say were the problems they enumerated?
No, you enumerated four of them.
The previous
you gave 4, and I added the last leg that
in
process
terms of it being chaotic.
Yes,
what about the queues?
It was about the queues largely.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That
but food wasn't part of the equation.
It will make it seamless and much comfortable if you were able to provide people with that. Am I lying?
Wow.
So they blew hot when they were in opposition, and now they want to blow cold. And it's not just about SIM card registration. In fact, it permeates across every sector. Whatever they stood for in opposition and whatever they stand for today, to the extent that a whole leader of government machinery or government business in parliament is telling the whole world that the NDC never promised to abolish teacher licensure exam. Something that is captured in black and white in their manifesto. Something then former president and candidate for the party publicly told teachers, Ghanaians and the whole world, you come to power, reality dawns on you, you go and sit or stand in parliament and you come and tell us that the NDC at no point uttered those words. They were blowing hot in opposition, now they want to blow cold. It goes back once again to the Galamsey issue. Made it an NPP business. Called Ekufuado a Galamseya and told us that if you go to Ekufuado's house in Chebi, just at the back of his house, there's a Galamsey pit.
Was it the NDC that said that?
They said
it. Professor,
they said it.
Professor Boateng.
Professor Boateng told you behind the Ekufuado's house in Chebi, there's a Galamsey pit there.
I thought he referred to his hometown or something. I'm not sure. I think he referred to...
In my hometown, there could be Galamsey.
Yeah, I think he
Does
said
it mean I'm involved in Galamsey?
Closer to his place or so. Yeah.
Does it mean I'm involved in Galamsey? I'm from the Eastern region.
Yeah.
And I'm from Kwao South. If you go to Kwao South, we see people doing Galamsey. Does it mean I'm part of Galamsey? If you go to Kwao, people are doing Galamsey. Does it mean at the back of my house there's Galamsey?
But anyway, back to the...
So in Eastern region, yes, we see it along the route when we are going back to our hometowns. We see the Galamsey pit. Yeah. Is there any record of Ekufuado being involved in Galamsey?
Okay, but
that's what they told us.
The point, yes.
So they were blowing hot in opposition, calling Ekufuado Galamseyers. In fact, they told Ghanaians that they know the Galamsey kingpins.
Yeah, but back to the point. I want us to talk about this.
Everything will come together if you give me time. And that they will not even go for those who are in the pit. They will go for the heads because right. Now the reality has dawned on them, and the president has no choice. After what he's had as a mishap with the engagement with the CSOs at the presidency, and telling Ghanaians that after all it's our own land that we are destroying. So if we are destroying our lands and we are making monies, so be it. Then later this week, he comes to tell us that yes, his own people are the ones doing Galamsey. So after all, it wasn't Ekufuado doing Galamsey. After all, it wasn't Dr. Bagumian doing Galamsey. So it speaks to the characterization the NDC gave to all national issues when they were in opposition. And are we saying that this thing will come at no cost to the Ghanaian? Is it that anything that has to do with cost has to do with monies? If you are to leave your studios, blessed, to go and queue, have we factored time productivity variance? The cost of time. How much time are we going to expend at the centers? And how much does it culminate into productivity? And how much does it culminate into loss in terms of productivity? And like the video you played,
yes,
the telco lady who gave you the various items of cost, and what the other panel put to her. Don't tell us there will be no cost to the consumer. There is no private person doing business whose cost of production or doing business will go up and would not transfer the cost to the consumer. There is no private business. There is no Father Christmas. Even when people say we are having promos, they give you a percentage. They don't give you free. It's part of the profit they cut off and give you some as a relief. There is no way. If the Ghanaian is directly not going to pay for the registration, the telcos will make sure through your data and through your voice, they are able to make up the loss they incurred. So there's no way. Come and tell us the truth
about the cost.
And come and beg Ghanaians that we wanted power. And just as we did politics with Galamsey, just as we did politics with government contracts, and today it's staring us in the faces that after all, people in government, through restricted tender, through sole sourcing, can also amass government contracts. We said all those things against the government because of politics, including the registration exercise. That we beg you, this is what we want to do. As for the excuse of Profatefua not speaking to Honorable Owusu, where does it arise? And where does it come in? Do they necessarily need to be friends to work? And at workplaces, we are admonished that your work colleague is not necessarily your friend. And someone doesn't have to be your family or friend to have a good working relationship with the person.
Okay, so
were we expecting Profatefua and Owusu, Honorable, to be having cocktails and be having sleepovers before they could properly register ourselves?
Well, so what I want to focus on in that write-up is the technical aspects of it, because for the cocktail side,
what reason did government give you? What reason did government
ESNA is confirming to us now, and I just want to ask you the question about that.
What reason did government give you? They said we have to re-register because at the time, the communications minister and NIA
that was part of
were not in talking terms.
Part of the explanations.
Do they need to do sleepovers? Before they could work together?
Well, I don't know about that. That's why I'm not able to.
They didn't have to do sleepovers.
Okay, so
before they could work together.
But what I'm saying is that
give us a reason to go and register if you believe the previous process was flawed.
But
I haven't seen any Ghanaian who has any number that will say that my number is not in sync with my Ghana card data.
But that's where the technical aspect is
about data syncing. Is there a process that the ministry or NITA and NIA can use the existing data for the synchrony?
Right. If I may, the explanation, and I'm not, that's why I'm bringing in the perspective of what NCA and the minister is telling us. They're saying that the first two stages have been completed. You now need to do authentication. So for instance, if I use your Ghana card to do a verification for my number, the system will not be able to tell if indeed that's my own.
Very good.
So that's where the discord is coming from.
So do we necessarily need to go through, are we going
through the statement? I just want to ask the question. Esther is saying in the statement that indeed that is the case, and that the NIA did not allow the system to be synchronized. So there was a challenge.
And
there's a genuine.
Are we going through the system or the registration from scratch, or Ghanaians are just going for the verification or confirmation?
Is that a proper re-registration?
What is proper? The 80% registration that we've done, the over 30 million Ghanaians that we've done up to stage 2.
30 million cards.
30 million cards.
Yes.
Are they improper?
But the challenge is you could have people impersonating others.
That is where the confirmation or verification will bring those things up. Like my brother said, someone used his Ghana card to register for someone else. And there was a police case, and the person was rather arrested because on the number, it was traced to you. And I'm asking, are we going to start the process from scratch? Or we are going through the verification to fish out.
But don't you see the justification to start the process again?
Then you are
because you are not able to verify.
The Ghanaian.
How? But you're not able to verify.
There are 3 stages, and the Ghanaian has gone through 2 stages already. It's left with the last stage. Are we going for the last stage, or we are going to start afresh?
But that's what I'm saying. That based on the principle
through the last stage, we'll be able to fish out those who use their cards to register.
How so? When you've not verified.
The verification is the last stage at this point.
Okay. I get it. So
is
you
the
feel
Ghanaian going through the last stage of verification, or we are going to start from scratch?
But the challenge you would have
each of them will pose different challenges.
But what I'm saying,
each of them will pose different costs.
Doc, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But I'm also saying the reverse point is that that from the base of it, from the start of it, you're not able to tell that indeed if it's Chata that's coming with his card, or maybe Solo is coming with his card, that card
the
is linked.
verification will bring it up.
How?
If my number is registered with your Ghana card and I'm going to the verification,
how do we verify
my fingerprint will not match with the details on the same. That's what the verification will seek to do. So when I go and it's not my name or Ghana card on this number,
then we proceed.
Then I can be phased out for using your Ghana card details to register my number.
So no need to start again.
There's no need to go for.
So we should just verify that.
Go for verification. Those that will be phased out can then go and start the process proper using the proper document for registration. Starting the process from scratch to end
is where you have a challenge.
And it's just going to burden us.
Okay. Ivan, let me bring you in. And Doc, I'll come back to you. The point now is about verification, which Doc is saying, well, then let's not start the process again, because that'll be too much of a cost to the average Ghanaian now.
Yeah, let me say good morning to you, to our cherished viewers. Blessed, whenever the mention of SIM re-registration is mentioned, I think it invokes a certain negative passion and sentiment among Ghanaians because of what we were subjected to some few years ago. I think the process as it was outlined then was very cumbersome, and Ghanaians went through a hell of frustration to have their SIM card registered, considering the timelines, the short timelines created. So I know that to wake up today for you to be told that the whole exercise was half useful, that I think you really be worried about it. And you begin to ask yourself as a country, what at all can we get it right? Because this is not the first time we are doing SIM registration. We've done it once, this is the second time, we're coming to the third time. So what the hell can we get it right in this country, you understand? So I think it's a huge frustration. And I remember at the time when this whole SIM registration process was activated, some of us had our concerns about the hasty manner the minister was going about with the registration, because it was as if...
Oh, really? It was hasty?
Oh, yeah. It was as if we were traveling somewhere. You see, this is a database you're seeking to build. You need to be very meticulous and very engaging to be able to gather all the relevant data that is required, so that you also allow the time to glide. To bring on forward a lot of people to have the process to be able to have their SIM card registered. I know a number of people who had their bank account and who had their SIM card blocked because they were unable to register within the time frame. Later, I think some allowances were created, even that some did not. So if today we are back to square one, talking about SIM registration and stuff, I think it is very important for us to situate this whole discussion in a context that will elicit some sort of understanding. Yes, the communication minister has provided baseline, but I think there are a lot of questions beaming for answers, because if you don't clear these questions beaming for answers, you will end up incentivizing many of the propaganda merchants to go. They definitely.
Which one is
Yeah. Because you see, if you fail to, you see, in governance you don't create a vacuum. The very moment you create a vacuum, people will fill it with cynicism. People will fill it with everything propaganda, and you lose control. Controlling the narrative. So I think it's very important that where we are, costs related to some of these things, because I'm told the MNOs are the very people who very often will bear some of these costs. And there is this propaganda spending that that particular cost will pass to the customers, we the Ghanaians, which for me as at this point is speculative. So if the minister is able to provide all these technical detail, listen to when he said that they've not settled on the cost. So whichever the process or whatever is involved in this particular process, whether the cost will be taken care of by the telecos or by Ghanaian, or which entity will be involved with all these things. Some of these basic communication need to be communicated.
Those answers
for people,
must be provided.
Provided for people to understand.
When he says he's going to do a proper registration, is he being fair to the previous administration?
But you see, when you talk about SIM card registration, you see, always my brother said his SIM card is linked to his Ghana card. It's not just about the linkage; it's about the database, the linkage, the integration, you understand, and how you are able to verify. And the problem is that the whole SIM card registration was done for a purpose. So the question is, what purpose was it instituted for? Was to check some of this fraud and other related. But post that, are we still going through the challenge? Yes, it means that the process that was outlined wasn't successful. You understand? Because today the mobile money fraud is on the rise. People call you. There are people who are able to, through backdoor channel, able to take money away from people, and tracking those people becomes a challenge. So the question is that.
Yeah, but Ivan, practically speaking,
okay,
how can you end fraud totally by through registration?
No, you see, I think it's about the data integration. What they are seeking to do is to connect the phones, MIEI.
No, I get that.
Yes.
How will you eliminate fraud?
You only
entirely by.
No. You only the risk. You can tame the risk to a certain extent. You understand? But to completely eradicate it is almost impossible.
So he's not being fair to the.
No. You see, he's talking about the registration process and the fact that it was not integrated into the database, and the minister has confirmed it, because the whole essence of putting up that particular data was to have it integrated and synchronized with other databases. You understand? And that has always been a challenge. Even the the Ghana card,
yes, the Ghana,
its synchronization with other agencies as it stands now hasn't been done, because I applied for passports some few days ago. I was asked to provide basic details, which at this time I shouldn't be provided. You understand? You go to Senate, they have their own data. You go to CAC, they have their own data. So we need to have a proper system, database that's synchronized or which allows all the agencies to be able to do this easy verification process, to be able to ascertain indeed information being provided by an individual.
So when,
it's okay.
So when Doc says that, okay, then let's not start the process again. Just verify, what you have.
That is why, because I've listened to the minister. He made a point that most of the data which were gathered at the time are not effective data that can be used for the processes that they are about to outline. For instance, he mentioned, is it verification, some kind of...
It wasn't done. Yeah.
Yes, you understand. And then, remember, I have always argued that if you look at the database, as it stands now, we have the fingerprint database there. If it is possible to work with it, we can build upon. There is always a way to go about some of these things. But if we cannot, and we need to start from the basis, that justification must be provided, because the average Ghanaian is considering the laborious processes that they were subjected to. And if the person is to be subjected to similar process without a justification, you may have all the political reason, but you may end up, being on the bad side of the people. So if the existing database is not useful, then that particular information needs to be communicated. If it is about just integration, then we know where to go from. You understand? So as it stands now, once it has been recognize that the existing database cannot be used for whatever that we intend doing now, and the minister think that we need to start from the process. I think all the basic questions surrounding this whole thing must be communicated and properly explained to elicit all the sort of understanding.
The former minister is not happy about the kind of politics the current minister is doing. That at least give credit where it's due.
No, you see, when the entire process began years back.
You recall what the was saying?
Yeah, there were concerns. A lot of people raised concerns about the processes they were going about it. And people predicted today. You understand? People predicted today. But at the time, most of the people were not amenable to reason and wisdom.
Yeah, but this was the same sector minister that said there will be part of the, as he's saying, Stop on Academy. He made those.
Yeah, that is a fact. Some judge made it, but he had his concerns, and I think you see his concerns today, to a certain extent, has been verified. Has been I don't know how
justified.
Has been justified.
Really?
Yeah, because their concern was no. The concern raised at the time wasn't because people didn't want to have their SIM card registration. You understand?
Before even the process started.
No. I'm saying that it wasn't because they didn't want to have their SIM card registered, but people were concerned about the processes that they were going through, to the extent that today will arrive. And here we are today, because the whole process as it was assembled wasn't going to take into consideration many of the questions or many of the concerns and the challenges we are having today. So they were being asked to slow down and make sure that there is a proper integration. You understand? Because you cannot just build up a database and not have it integrated into the NIA
and even
database.
now, the sector minister has not provided.
Did the government say at the time the registration was, sorry to cut you, that we're not going to integrate at that point?
No, but the minister has confirmed it.
No, at the point. You said there were problems he had because we're not going to have integration. And I'm asking, did the government...
No, it wasn't just about just the integration.
Based on what did he...
No. That is even inconsequential.
So why is that the case? Because
based on what
we see the concerns raised were multifaceted. It wasn't just
before the rollout.
The government at the time did not tell you that they were not going to
integration.
Yes.
I'm saying that, you see, the agitation didn't start prior to the...
It started.
I'm saying that it wasn't just limited to before the registration. Even during the registration, even post the registration, these concerns were being registered all over.
So what reason...
Hold on.
The last one. Okay, the last one. What reason did
he give before the start?
Yeah.
No, it's not just about Sam George. Sam George is one of many Ghanaians.
But he's the one leading us today.
No, it doesn't matter. Sam George...
It doesn't matter in the scheme of things.
You understand? It's about the concerns Ghanaians have. You can sit here and debate Sam George.
Yes.
But Sam George is not my concern here. I'm concerned about many Ghanaians who will be subjected to this particular process and the concerns that people had. You go on social media.
Yeah, but consistency is important.
I understand. You see, that consistency becomes a problem when you zoom in Sam George as an individual and discuss him. You understand? My concern has to do with the many concerns raised by Ghanaians on various media platforms that the processes.
Ivan, are you not picking and choosing then?
No.
Why the minister matters is he's the policymaker now.
Yes.
He has an ideological underpinning about the process.
To help you. He was the ranking member on the committee. He was not just speaking of himself.
I'm saying that
just to help you.
The concerns raised by Sam George it was personal. You understand? And many Ghanaians had similar challenge. It wasn't just Sam George.
He's now asking. Let me give you a scenario.
Okay.
He's now asking people.
Okay.
This is the same Sam George who is now asking people to go out and register.
Yes. So now is he providing reasonable grounds and justification for the registration? No, so that is the question. Is he providing reasonable grounds and justification?
So whatever he did in the past will not matter?
No, it doesn't matter if he is able to provide reasonable basis, because the fact is that this particular process was done to solve a problem. Yeah. Because as a policy, you identify a problem, you design the policy to address the challenge. The policy has failed to address the problem. You understand?
I get that.
And whether it can be built on, and we can start from afresh, depending on the objective the minister want to have.
So we leave out Sam George.
No, yes. You look at the broader picture, what he's seeking to achieve. Because the fact is that as it stands now, the registration process, the synchronization, the database integration, everything has failed. That is why today it's so easy than before to even have some of these fraudulent activities on our mobile monies. At the end of the day, tracing the person becomes a problem. And the person is coming up with either option that this time around, the integration will be done in such a way that even the machine, the phone that will be used to engage in those fraudulent activities, you can even lose it. You understand? Yeah, so the question that we need to genuinely ask the minister is that the NPP built a database, which is the biometric database. Yes, are we going to trash it? Yeah. Or can we build upon? Because these are Ghanaians. You understand? These are the relevant questions that we can ask, rather than zooming in the minister and be discussing his personal opinion in the past. That was his concern. And some of us had our concern because at the time, my concern has to do with the hasty manner we were subjected to, and the fact that people were not ready to even provide reasonable basis as to why we should be subjected to that laborious process. You understand? Okay, so and at the end of the day, if we come back today and after being subjected to this long haul of a process, to be told that that particular process in the end is inefficient, then that is quite problematic. And I think we must begin to make people face certain punitive sanctions so that the average Ghanaian will not be taken for granted.
If you're saying it was inefficient, the former minister is telling you whatever she had to do, she had done that. It's just a linkage. That's not.
No. But if just about linkage, we could easily do it, because if you listen to Sam George and the narrative he's provided, it has nothing to do with just integration. Okay. You understand? So I think there is a problem. We must begin to accept some of these realities and build on. And as a country, I feel ashamed that we are even having this particular conversation, because if we cannot even get SIM registration right as a country, the question, what the hell can we get right in this country?
Let me bring in,
very often we do politics with this, accusation, counter-accusation, recrimination, and we move on.
But I mean, just to be fair, Sam George was very vociferous.
You see, I am not here defending Sam George.
I get that.
You see, my major concern has to do with the other concerns raised by Ghanaians, and the fact that those concerns today has been justified. You understand, within the context of our discussion, and the former minister has even provided in his write-up.
She has confirmed.
She has only confirmed. She didn't say anything. You understand? She has only confirmed the fact that whether there was a bad blood between her and the minister, that was not our business. But the fact that the integration was not done, and what we sought to achieve with the registration, we did not achieve that.
I'll come back to you, Ivan.
Multiple registration card with other people's names. These are some of the things we want to remove and move on as a country.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Ivan and Doc. Solo, let me hear from you. Solo, because at the time you were a member of the NPP, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll be hearing from the Cyber Security Authority shortly. So a lot will be happening today. But Solo, you were a member of the NPP at the time when all of this was happening. Esla Ekuful is telling us now that this whole claim, by the president, by some other individuals, that look, she wasn't speaking to the NIA boss. The process broke down because there was no cordial relationship between the NIA, the leadership at the time, and Esla Owusu Ekuful. That claim should not even be taken seriously, because as far as she is concerned, she still kept the professional relationship going.
Her statement rather confirmed what people have been saying. What did she say? If you had a very good working relationship with Prof, the main issue was to synchronize the NIA's data with the telcos. And you yourself conclude that didn't happen. So what was happening then? That was the issue then. I mean, some of us, because you see, this whole registration exercise, people limit it to only the mobile phone. I am into transport business. The hell I went through, because all our trucks and buses that are on the road, we have what we call trackers. And these trackers use SIMs. And then these SIMs, you use your corporate registration documents to register. The sort of ordeal you go through with the telco before you get all these SIMs re-registered, people have no idea. So they sit in their offices and they just throw issues out there for us to go and follow. At that time, when we were telling them, because I was in the NPP, but I told her that, Madam, it's not as easy as we are only registering our SIMs for mobile telephony. There are other SIMs connected with what you want to do. So take your time and get the NIA on board. She refused. And the Akufo-Addo's regime, you couldn't touch her. She was untouchable. Either than that, she would have been fired with how she managed the whole SIM registration from 2021 to 2023. Hey, we are back to square one. But you see, I am not of the opinion that we must go back and do re-registration. As a matter of fact, in these whole discussions, we are leaving out the telcos. What's the role of the telco? It is your platforms that are being used to dupe innocent people. So why must you also not take the flag? Why must you not be punished for allowing your systems to be used to dupe people? Because if you read the LI 2006, let me read a portion for you, so that these telcos will not get away with impunity. And successive governments, they allow them, and they want to take the flag. When the operators themselves ought to do what is right. What is SIM?
So where is the point for regulation?
What is SIM? SIM is subscriber identity model.
Yes.
Who are we subscribing to? Are we not subscribing to these telcos? So they must be able to identify whoever uses their line. You give us the line.
Yes.
So you have given my number 022889996.
Yes.
It must be unique. Every number is unique to a particular.
When you were subscribing, you didn't tell the telcos that you're going to be using your SIM card for fraud.
No, but when I was subscribing, I gave you my data. There's fraud will never get away from the system.
Yes.
The reason why you.
So why blame these? The telcos now?
So for instance.
Yes.
He told us that he has been swindled.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Immediately, the telcos must be able to help to unravel the person that did that. That is what we expect from them. So that the law takes its course.
But so these are private organizations.
What are you talking about? You gave me a unique number.
Yes, yes.
You gave me a unique number. That number is unique to me. And when I was registering, you demanded my ID cards. You demanded certain basic information from me.
Yeah.
So that you can identify me at all material time. Now the person is swindled, then we cannot identify the person. Is it not the telcos aiding these people to
the fear is you'll be shifting responsibility. You'll be shifting responsibility to the private organization and not the government agency that you are paying taxes
but
to.
I'm not. The government, they don't give me my telephone number.
Momopi. How did they get it? Momopi.
So the point is that, you see, we are living, it's just like going to a bank. When you go to a bank and go and withdraw money, the moment you get out, there's somebody chasing you. You think the information came from where? So we must begin to also take a critical look at the telcos.
Yeah, but there's no basis. There's no evidence right now. So to prove that these people are giving your data.
But who else? Who else is having my data? You gave me the unique number.
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Yes.
In the lead up to the election.
Yes.
You know that our document was out there on Gmail.
Yes.
That had your number. Your number was in that document.
Yes, but that was wrong.
Yes, so I'm saying that there are possible means by which your number could be.
No, but what I'm saying is that I don't want to go into realm of conjectures. You gave me a number. Now we are narrowing to specifics.
Yes.
That the telcos
gave you a number.
They gave me a number unique to me.
Yes.
Because the number that I have, nobody can have that number.
But you've given that number to some other people, right?
So then,
so you've given your contact to your friends.
No, but nobody can use my number.
Yes.
In the same way I'm using my number. If I'm using my number, nobody can replicate that number. You understand?
That's true.
What I'm saying is that the process that we are talking about is the reason why we are having this discussion.
Yes.
The telcos must also be part of the blame, and this is backed by the LI 2006 itself.
Right. Which you've just.
You understand that they must identify all subscribers. If you cannot identify people are hiding behind fake numbers to be duping people, why must you go and blame someone else? It means the government itself is not getting it right. So that is one leg of it. Number two, you see, NIA, you know we are spending money before, in getting the Ghana card. We were told that within 15 years we were going to spend about 1.2 billion for the NIA card, and that they are spending about $293 million. What I remember Professor Tifa telling us or saying in those days was that they will recoup this investment by selling the data to various entities or institutions that would rely on it. This is where the problem is. So in Esther's situation, she did not want to pay for that, pay that money.
Oh, how?
That's how come they didn't give it to them. That's how come. That was the long and short of it.
So it's our money.
Pay me, you say you won't pay me.
Solova, you don't know that first.
No, but that is a fact. I mean, go and ask her.
It's our money.
But what else? That a state institution, remember the NIA is a state institution.
Yes, it is.
And the Ministry of Communication is a state institution. Now they are doing a registration, a data government to government, then one will say, I won't give you.
But see, that's what Doc was saying, that at the start of the process, that's the question he was asking Ivan, that before the process started, at no point did government communicate or NIA communicate that, look, we will not allow the verification process to happen. They never stated that, not even during the process.
At a point, Professor Tifa made a claim that if they did not pay, the NIA was not going to release. I'll get the document for you.
Okay.
I mean, that was the basis of the controversy. And then came the ego of the sector minister. If you are not going to, women, the way they fight. If you are not going to give me, take your data, you go ahead.
Oh, so you are dramatizing.
I am only telling, where are we now? You must be angry at Esther. She's hiding somewhere and telling us all this.
She's not hiding. She issued a statement.
Issue what?
She only has.
You know, she bought something called self-help app.
Yes.
We were paying 5 cedi for it. Where did that money end? This country will do anything anyhow. a common issue of SIM registration. Ghana with a population of 34 million people. India has a population of about 1.4 billion. They are able to track everyone in there. China has a population of around the same figure. They are able to track everyone in there. Ghana 34, common 34. Not everybody even uses one. We are struggling with this. When are we going to go to the moon?
He's saying that's part of the politicization process because of the same thing that the NPP did.
Let me tell you, this business of everything is politics. I don't mind narrowing into partisan politics, but everything is politics. I mean, politics is everyday activity. So what is wrong if I say I am UP and I'm criticizing what you are doing? If you do it right, would I not be shamed? So it's part of the competition. Competition must bring the best out of you. So
what some judge was doing at the time, Stubborn Academy, you endorsed that?
Oh, that was his opinion. If Esler had proven him wrong, would he be talking again? Now he has the gap to also be talking because he feels that he has been vindicated. But I do not support the idea that we must go and do a wholesale re-registration. Okay. I believe technology could deal with this matter. Because as he was saying, there are others that got it right. So let's look at the areas that we have problems with and use technology or upgrade to deal with the matter.
No queues. You wouldn't.
I don't because what I went through the last, I don't want to see it again. And like I said, a lot of vehicles are on the road. They will disable it, and you can't even track your tracks. So they must be very careful. They must not look at only the mobile telephony.
Yeah.
And I also disagree with the fact that they say it's not going to cost us anything. It's going to cost us something. No business entity is Father Christmas. Already, we are having signs of our data running like Usain Bolt. We are yet to deal with that matter. It's very easy for the telcos to adjust their data to compensate for whatever cost.
So it looks like today you are not.
I know how
you're not speaking in favor of the telcos.
No, the telcos have a big issue.
But you don't have evidence now. So
what evidence would I have when I know that my data is running like Usain Bolt?
So.
Stop watching TikTok.
No, still no.
You see, Jacob is telling me I watch TikTok.
You're watching too many.
Why would I not watch TikTok when they are doing jandam so that I can listen and then find antidote to some of the issues that they raise? By the way, I disagree with my brother when he said that there was no galamsey going on in Chebi. Let me read a paragraph from Professor Frebo Boate's, what do you call it, galamsey report, so that our brother Ezekiel Ajekum would understand that nobody is. Now, a paragraph in there.
Yeah. Very brief. So
very brief. The impunity in the Eastern region is exemplified by near unbelievable activity in Chebi. This is Professor writing a very detailed English. I had a telephone call from Mr. Eric Entry of the Office of the President. And he narrated that the youth organizer of the NPP, Jesus Christ, youth organizer, was excavating for gold in a field close to the house of His Excellency, the President of the Republic. When we checked it, it was true. This is the report. You can read it. So, indeed, there was galamsey going on very close to the former president's house. And that cannot.
According to Professor Frimpong, we have not.
Nobody has challenged that position.
On the contrary.
What was the contrary?
The Attorney General then invited Prof to come and substantiate those allegations, and Prof did not turn up to it.
Prof, why would he turn up when he has submitted this comprehensive report? What is that document that suggested that the Attorney General invited? Prof, you know, between the Attorney General then and who was the Attorney General then? Was it not Godfred?
Godfred, yes.
Godfred Dami that was telling someone behind the scene that let's go and
let's not. Okay, back to the.
I was passing my head up.
It's okay. So let's come back to the registration. Okay. Have you landed?
So the registration, yes. I believe that they must use technology to deal with the inefficiencies rather than sending us back to those days that people were just queuing. And mind you, you see, it even has the problem we have is that not everyone that even has this smartphone, and a lot of our people too, they don't have appreciation of IT. So they will go to a third party to do the registration. That is why I'm still sending you back to the telcos. It's not the telcos that have been doing the registration. When you go there and submit your Ghana card, then they use it to be registered for a lot of people. They are the cause of all our nemesis. Are you going to allow them to go scot-free and then you'll be boxing amongst ourselves and then they'll be laughing? No way. If we want to do this, we must go back. All those that did the last registration. After all, the telcos had serial numbers for every shared data that took the registration. Let's look at the numbers that are defrauding people. Who are those who registered them? We must be able to identify them, the staffs, so that either they are barred from taking part in the next registration or they are interdicted.
So then let's, I think, deal with the final. Are you saying that you don't have anything to tell the sector minister?
Who?
Sam George.
Sam George.
Yes.
I have told him that he must use technology.
That's all.
Beyond that, I told you that the data is running.
Okay.
Beyond that, there are certain areas I am using Airtel Tigo. There are certain areas in Accra I don't get service.
And the internet.
The internet is very bad. These are areas that he must be dealing with. And this must be basic. Because you see, communication ministers around the world are now doing what we call Internet of Nations or IAs. We have not even gotten to the IA level. These are basic things that must be rectified immediately. So he must sit up and deal with this issue.
Do you feel he should apologize to the former sector minister?
The former sector minister must rather apologize to him. Because on that score, he was right.
But
Esra just confirmed that there was no synchronization between the NIA and the telcos, which was the bone of
yeah, but she says the database is there, capturing
database? The database has always been there. Before Esra registered us, the telcos had our data. They have always had our data. That's why I was sending your mind back that what is SIM? SIM is what subscriber identity model. So anybody that is having a contact number, your information is with the telcos. It's the reason you have a number.
Yeah.
So if for any reason the telcos cannot identify me, that means they have been irresponsible. They have done something that is illegal that must be punishable under the LI 2006. You understand?
Yeah.
So Esra rather has to apologize
to Sam George.
To Sam George, and not Sam George apologizing to him, to her, and that Sam George must also not be over-promising. Because if you don't know the end game of anything, you cannot assure the entire people that this is going to be the last. How are you going to draw that conclusion? How are you the one going to go around the entire country and register? The human beings that are going to register, you will give them the framework, but they may not go according to, because of their own ulterior motives. Because of their own ulterior motives. So you can't be too sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you all the time. I see that you all want to. Okay, but let's do that briefly so that I can bring in Madugo online from Cyber Security Authority. Yeah, you wanted
no,
to.
I'm still curious. I want to know a few things.
Okay, right.
There were prior agitation to the registration.
Yes.
There were. And so I'm asking once again, what informed those prior agitations? What informed the Stubborn Academy telling people not to go and register? Because at that point, there was no discussion on any synchronization.
There was.
Oh, there wasn't?
Prior to the registration.
That's why, that's why I haven't.
I'll get there.
That's why he was.
Relax.
Yeah, okay.
Were we told from the outset that we're not going to merge the two data?
Yes.
From the outset.
That what?
That's NIA, because NIA wanted to lead the exercise, and they were not
from the outset. There was nothing like the government telling us they were not going to.
No, it wasn't
the
about
data.
government telling us.
Remember,
it wasn't about government telling us.
A small intervention. You see, the communication ministry had met the select committee of Parliament on communication,
right.
And during the briefing, they had the view that there wasn't going to be any synchronization.
I'm saying that there were problems that were encountered during and post-registration.
Yes.
Those problems that were encountered during and post-registration were not problems we had before registration. So what informed those agitations prior to the registration? What informed the agitation telling people not to go and register? So we shouldn't hear and be doing blind
But the people
defense.
registered, oh?
Secondly, we are not personalizing issues. I don't do that.
Yeah.
We are taking the worst of the sector minister, not the person sector minister. And we can't say we should brush off what the sector minister is saying. He was the ranking member on the communication committee in Parliament. The leader and the voice of the opposition then on communication. And we are saying whatever he said, we should throw it away. So we are telling us today.
He says you should focus more on what the concerns of Ghanaians are.
The principle and ideas of the minority on the communications committee in parliament, communicated by the ranking member, we should throw them out. That's what you have been told today. It's the reason why the majority leader can go to parliament, if this is how we are going to do our businesses. It's the reason why majority leader will go to parliament and tell us that NDC never promised to scrap licentiatism. And when we come and we are discussing it, then we'll be told that, oh, he's not a president. So even if he said it, we should let him go because he's not a president. Forgetting that, he occupies the position of the leader of government business in parliament. So it is not about Sam George as a person.
But now he may have reflected.
It is not about him as a person. But we can't say that if a select committee's ranking member comes to communicate something, we should take it with a pinch of salt. Never should we do that.
Okay.
Now, lastly, there is no evidence that shows that Momo fraud is worse off today. If nothing at all, post the initial registration, what I have read is that Momo fraud has reduced.
And where are you also reading from?
I read it. I don't have the document.
Yeah, so you also don't have it. So you also don't have it.
But there is.
So you also don't have the. So you also don't have. So you also don't have the evidence. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
That fraud. Momo fraud is worse off.
You're challenging his. You don't want to withdraw your.
The registration. It is expected that this thing will be.
So after whatever is coming, you will not have any Momo fraud.
So where's your source also? Where's your source also? That it reduced immediately.
There was an article.
So bring your source then I'll believe you.
I'll set for it. There is no scientific evidence to the fact that Momo fraud is worse off today. No one on this table can tell us that post whatever is being done or is coming.
Momo fraud will be eliminated.
Fraud. By that point, we have made it.
So if fraud was
on for us
entirely,
my studio
for which reason we have been told that the exercise then was bogus. Then we are telling us that after the new registration, should there be any activity of fraud? What are we going to do is also bogus. No, you.
Okay, so let's see. Okay,
whatever he said.
Let's hear from him.
Yes, so let's hear. Sam George had his concerns at the time.
Many the ranking member. Let's leave him out. The ranking member.
Is it Sam George had his concern? Many Ghanaians had their concerns, and I don't know the day today. Those concerns have been vindicated, and I think we should feel ashamed we are here. You understand? Because the inefficiencies in the previous registration are quite obvious. You understand? And the assurances which were made against the fact that many reasonable concerns were raised, but people were not amenable to these concerns being raised. You understand? They went ahead to do what they do. They were at loggerheads. At the end of the day, the basic thing, which was supposed to be the integration, which will allow the database to be used to verify some of these identities and stuff, were not done. So we need to sit here and admit failure before we move on. So we cannot sit here and say, Sam George was doing politics. What are you doing here? What are we doing here? You understand? So I think. Oh, Blase.
No, just go ahead. No, because we've kept.
No. That's exactly. No. Sitting here, that is what we've been doing. I'm saying that. If it is not, if Sam George did politics, the discussion you've done throughout, you don't have any issue with the registration fiasco that we've had, you understand. But rather the political aspect of it is where you vested your interest by veering off to Galamsey and understand. But the reality is that I expect that we should feel ashamed, you understand, that at this point, we didn't get this particular thing right. And we must be concerned about how we can move on from here. My concern is that there is an existing database. If we cannot build upon, the minister needs to explain to us why we cannot. And if we can use the existing database and build upon. But it doesn't change the fact that the enterprise registration was nothing but a useless enterprise. That must be accepted. It's the reason why there are these concerns being raised, and we need to find our amends and move on.
Yeah, the communications head at the Cyber Security Authority is joining us. So apologies. Let me go online.
No,
I'll come back to you.
No. I'm not defending Sam George.
This is a very interesting one. So Benjamin, let me hear from you because even there's the concern about cyber safety and how details are now going online and people are getting all of that, using it for fraud.
Good morning. Sorry, I couldn't join you in studios. We had an emergency this morning, so we had to tend to it. First of all, the questions that we must all bring our mind to primarily is about whether there are challenges with the current registration process. I mean, and from the cybersecurity point of things, yes, there is. Because the number of calls that comes into our computer emergency response unit at the cybersecurity on a daily basis in regards to mobile money fraud and people using the same things that we ought to have registered to commit some of those mobile money fraud online is alarming. And when you carry out investigations really in terms of tracing this, you realize that majority of the things are registered in the names of different people than those who are using it. Which means that at the point of registration, there was some level of I don't know how to put it, but the checks at the point of registration was a bit loose. Because why would somebody who is using a particular SIM to commit cyber fraud, or if you like mobile money fraud, you're able to track the number down, go and trace this individual, and the name that has registered this is probably a female, but then you go and get the SIM being used by a man, which means that we did not pay attention really to the Ghana cards that were used to register the SIM. And some people have used their Ghana card to register a lot more SIMs for different individuals, and that same individual Ghana card have been used to register multiple SIMs that different people are using. That's
why Solo was saying that. Then let's turn the heat on the telcos, because they have the data. They know. I think
that we should have a comprehensive stakeholder engagement, not only the telcos, but also those who regulate the telcos, and which then means that government, at the point where these registration activities that was ongoing, the institution that was supposed to regulate the telcos and to make sure that they are living up to standard must also be brought in the discussion to make sure that the exercise that our minister, our sector minister, Honorable Sam George, intend to carry out to be able to deal with this serious issue of crime. Because as we're moving into the digital ecosystem, there some of the challenges that we are facing, really, particularly, is people's accounts being empty and being frauded, by individuals who are using, who call you, talk to you, use. In fact, when you go online to even call some food vendors, people have duplicated their social media accounts, and then they place numbers there. And it's these numbers that you call and they engage you with, and eventually, carry out this fraudulent activities.
Okay, so as the Cybersecurity Authority, now that we're going to start the process again, we're not too sure if maybe we'll be queuing or perhaps there'll be a new way of verification. How do you plan to guard that process? So that
I think that in terms of the implementation of this particular new registration sites, it's NCA that will, be we are the center of it. What the role of the cybersecurity is to make sure that the various security controls, so far as the registration is concerned, and the reports that we have received over the years are factored into the registration process, so we do not have none of that we know is in the current system. So for us, that is the role that we will play in all of this. But in terms of the implementation, even though we are also part of the stakeholders that will be involved, making sure that the necessary controls are implemented. Other stakeholders like the NCA, the telcos, and everybody.
So you're saying you have no stake in this. You have no control at all over how people are getting our numbers. I just
mentioned to you that in terms of putting in place the necessary security controls, to make sure that we do not have a situation where people come and register their SIMs and they are not the ones who own those Ghana cards, and the challenges that are coming with the mobile money fraud. We will play a role in that. We've been part of the consultation process.
Okay.
The minister has made the consultation quite broad to make sure that the element of cybersecurity is taken care of in terms of the implementation of the process. Just like the NCA, you will realize that the press conference that was done in the past week, the NCA was the one leading the implementation process and giving every update on it, because they regulate the telcos in respect.
Okay, this is what I want to do. Let me come back to my studio audience because I see some burning questions on your faces. You've been listening to the submissions so far. You want to have your take quickly on this?
Yes, I definitely have something to say.
A question perhaps to Doc, I believe.
It's not really a question. My issue is that as a country, we keep on wasting our citizens, we keep on wasting our time all in the name of fixing problems, and then in the end, we create more problems than what before they even started. When we are about to have elections, opposition will say the register is flawed. Let's do a new register. We'll do the next election. Someone would say the register is flawed. Let's do another thing. Now the NDC was against the registration of the SIM card. We had the now our minister, who was the stubborn academy president. Now I don't know whether we'll have another, and then my brother here is also
he says he will lead that.
He will lead. So we keep on doing this to ourselves, thinking that someone is coming to solve our problems. If we are here to fix the problem, then let's fix it once and for all. Now the message that the former minister released clearly indicates that we had issues with the one that we did. So if we are to do another one, what's the assurance that those issues? So should we in any point in time have maybe the minister is having issue with the NIA boss, then we'll come back the same way, having to re-register everything again. So if we've at least done, let's say 60% of the thing, let's add the 40% and then be finished once and for all.
So you wouldn't want to queue again just to go through?
My issue is that NIA is like the authority that is supposed to have our data. So if we need data in terms of registry for something, why don't we go to NIA to get it? Then we coming back to us to do the same thing. And then I'll touch on what Solomon said. Yes. You will be there and then someone will send you lotto numbers saying today's Tuesday lotto numbers. But then, so how do these people get our numbers? So you've built a house for us to come and rent. And then we are there, someone knocks, enter our door, and we are saying that we shouldn't ask the telcos how come they entered our room. So the telcos must also be called to at least do something about it, because you provided the infrastructure for us to operate on. So if someone is using your infrastructure to commit crimes, at least you are the first point of call to be questioned before we even fish out those who did it.
I think in law, the unsolicited message should constitute a crime. I believe, yes, but
the loan companies.
But I don't know. But you can't prove also, based on the point you're saying, that it was the telcos that gave your number out.
No, that's when I can prove. If you're on controller, you're on controller.
Yes. Every
the loan agencies will have your number automatically once you are government. I don't know how they
get the number.
So LI 2006 regulation 1. A network operator, that is the telcos, or service provider shall not activate a subscriber identity model for a subscriber unless the subscriber, that is you and I,
yes.
completes registration of the subscriber identity model, emphasis on registration,
yes, in
accordance with these regulations and complies with the directives given by the authority under the Act. What are the directives that have been given by the authority? Is that you must be able to identify me. So once someone is duped using these lines here and there, the first one to come out will be the telcos.
Yes.
Why are they running away? Look, if your money 10,000 taken from you, must go to the telcos and take your money.
Absolutely.
You are providing the platform for people to do this.
So why not the police? Why not the cybersecurity?
So that when we come to you,
yes,
then you will tell us that, look, this person that duped the subscriber,
identity.
This is the identity. This is where he lives. You would have done your work. Then he goes to the police to go and arrest or apprehend the suspect. What we are dealing with now is that when someone is duped, the telcos are unable to identify the person. They are not.
Yes.
And that's where the problem is.
I see. I'll come back to you. Let me just take the gentleman there. Yeah, you have.
Thank you very much. So Barack Obama, in his visit to Ghana 2009, said Ghana doesn't need strong men, but rather we need strong institutions. Right. I will say that it seems our institutions are not efficient enough to look at these things, in the sense that private entities look for profit, but then the institutions, that's the government institutions, are there to implement policies that will keep these institutions in a rightful place. So I think that the institutions are so weak enough that they are not able to hold these private entities accountable, because these telcos are actually private entities.
You also side with
I
it's about the telcos too.
Yeah, they are, as far as they are private entities, they will breach certain laws. But if our institutions and their policy making are not strong enough to hold this institution accountable, we will even finish this policy we are about to do, and the next phase we are going to have the same challenge. So I think policies should not be passed so hastily as we are doing now. This one too, I see some kind of hasty decisions that are about to be made. Ambiguous explanation. Ambiguous explanation.
Which part looks hasty for you?
Such as what the Minister of Communications said. I think his explanation is like there's not going to be any challenge at the end of the day. This is going to solve problems that are connected to communication, which is kind of very questionable. So policies should be implemented. All stakeholders, such as you said, the cybersecurity should be brought to the table, the telcos should be brought to the table, the NIAs should be brought to the table, and then the right decision should be made. Also, I also think we should also set a committee that will be there to probe further or future implications that will come. Mostly, we just address the issue that is currently, and then later other issues will pop up, and then you see there's no institution handling that. And then there will be another, we have to do something which is not helpful. The process is very serious, and we should look at it from this point.
I think the problem we face is much bigger than just SIM registration. But you see, when sensitive issues of this nature comes on board, very often we just tilt it, just narrow the scope and cash political capital out of it, and then we leave the issues bare. If you look at the mobile money platform, I don't know whether the telcos only host it or they manage it, but I think there is an issue with the multiple firewall layers in terms of their security and encryption, because today somebody can sit somewhere and cash out, send you a cash out prompt. I don't know whether you've observed that. So how are they able to have access to that backdoor?
But is there anything really you can do about that?
I'm saying that when it comes to encryption and those kind of firewalls,
they should be able to block it.
Exactly. And our banks are losing a lot of revenue because of weak security access and those kind of stuff. So I think in as much as we are trying to address all these things, we need to situate this whole conversation in the proper context. And how do you call it?
But it's not about simplification. For instance, if I'm doing an order online and the person wants to send me a prompt just to approve the payment.
Yes. No.
The prompt should
that is normal. That is normal. But here, no, you have not initiated any transaction. You will be there and somebody will send you.
It's abuse of the system.
And just go on your mobile network and check. There are things they will tell you have subscribed to, which you have no idea. But they keep deducting. Nobody is being penalized for some of these things. But because very often we only fixate on the political narrative, we lose sight of some of these things. And the private entities always cash in and they'll make their money. Look at the profit that these companies are posting. And in the end, they repatriate everything in dollars and they send it away. We get nothing. You understand?
Okay.
So I think we need to have a...
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
I have just one question.
Okay, Alaji, I'll come to you.
Yeah, please, our cybersecurity, Mr. Benjamin. We have these loan apps on our phones. Like even when they request this Ghana card, some of my friends did tell me, and then once they request like your Ghana card, through your Ghana card number, they can get every detail. I don't know how they can just get your Ghana card and get every detail
about you.
Yeah, about you. It's very serious. The cybersecurity man is on line.
Probably he will address
I want him to address this because it's very serious. How can they just get your Ghana card number and then they can just get every details about you just instantly? I don't know if they are working with the NIE or if they are working with the NIE or something. I have no idea, but it's serious. Yeah.
Wow. This is getting serious. Yeah, let me hear.
Thank you for the opportunity. I think that the current system that we have is not reliable. And I believe that the way it is, we should do something about it. So I support the fact that we should do another SIM registrations. Because how come that I have money in my account, my mobile money account, and somebody is able to track, to know the amount that I have in the account and ask me that I should allow cash out for him to take off the money. So the system is not good.
So this narrative like this has nothing to do with SIM registration. It's about the back door that access that. So the telecoms, whether they host it or they manage it, they should work on it.
We'll get to you. Jata, let me hear.
Except
just wrap up for me.
Except that I believe that if we are going to do another SIM registration, the government should be able to decentralize the system such that it will not cost the citizens too much in terms of transportation. And again, I want to also add that the credit data is very, very expensive today.
It will be more expensive.
Our honorable ministers should do something about it.
It will be more expensive. That'll be brief, so I can
just to touch on what I said previously, this the prevalence of mobile money fraud. I feel personally that a large portion of this blame should be given to the telecoms company, and I'm beginning to believe
we're not hearing it properly. Yes, so that
I'm beginning to believe that most of these Momo fraudsters have their contact persons with the telecoms, or they work within the telecommunication companies, because it is impossible for somebody, just when you receive money in your account, that is the very moment the Momo scammers will start calling you. So we must begin to, in as much as when we are done with this process, we must also pay attention to the telecommunication companies, and we must begin to hold them accountable for people that lose their money with regards to fraud. This is just the brief one that I want to add.
Finally, you're fine with that. Okay. So this is what we'll do, because we need to talk about the next issue, about the concerns emerging. I see Solo wants to make an intervention, but if you're watching us this morning,
I was about to speak.
So I'm coming. Solo, just hold on. There's good news also for you if you're watching us this morning, because the Ghana Fest is happening at the Achimota Retail Center. We are leading that here at the Multimedia Group. Of course, Joy Prime is there. The team is there. All of the guys from Joy FM, Joy News. You should just pass by this morning and grab anything Ghanaian there at the Achimota Retail Center. So if you're watching us this morning right after the show, you can just pass by. You can even start moving now and be streaming us online while you head there. It's going to be fun. So many activities will be happening today as well. So just move to the Achimota Retail Center. Solo will be going there.
Yes. I'll go with my people. No, all of them are with the people now.
So just land for me. So we talk about...
Only 5 seconds. Just only 5 seconds. Just to add that the airline also is in agreement with what we are discussing. That the regulation 2, a network operator or service provider who contravenes regulation 1 is liable on summary conviction to a fine. So that is what the NIA and the ministry must be doing. They must be enforcing the law, not allowing these telcos to be going scot-free.
Yeah, I agree.
They are the problem of the day.
Okay. Let me just give a minute to Benjamin. Benjamin, there was a question for you from one of the persons in studio. Unfortunately we've lost him. So I'm sure the question will be addressed later on. Let's talk about the fuel now. we've crossed the $110 per barrel mark on the international market. It's coming back home to hit us. And already, I'm sure if you've gone through any of the pumps, you would have noticed that, yeah, there's some price change. The fear is it may go higher from the coming weeks. Projection is that, well, it may even reach 17. Well, that's not what we pray for. But the minority is already making an appeal to the government that, look, if possible, as of now, the 1 cedi fuel level that you've introduced, let's take that off and cushion Ghanaians. But Doc, do you feel that that's entirely going to tackle all of the challenges that we're facing?
It's part of the relief to the Ghanaian. According to the former Deputy Minister for Energy, at the peak of our problems, the ministry wrote letters to the President for authorization on a certain levy to be zeroed to help cushion the Ghanaian. And as a father, that is what you do. In times of difficulty, you rally your home and cushion your home. So the minority is not asking for anything beyond the scope of what a father or government can do. There's an introduction of a D levy, which for every liter of fuel we consume, you pay 1 cedi.
Yes.
It's more dangerous than the E levy NPP was taking.
Oh,
anyways.
Really?
So at this time of weak economy, at this time of an economy that has been exposed badly, the only thing the government can do to help the citizenry is to at least begin by pausing the D levy government is taking. But why are we even here? I'm surprised fuel prices are even going up.
You're surprised?
I'm surprised.
But it's because of the war.
Which war? If you go to Bantama, you see people fighting there. I came through Achimota, Abekan Junction, Tesano, to this place. Is anyone fighting? It's Ghana at war. The closest we've come to such issue was the admission by the foreign minister that Ghana aided US to strike ISIS in Nigeria. But we are, even with that, we are not at war.
So they were consulted.
Come again?
They were consulted. They reached out to them.
I'm saying that even with that, we are not at war.
Okay, yes.
So why should we have or bear the brunt of a certain war happening elsewhere? When we are told, and mind you, the state is not being ruled by my principle and ideas and my belief. It's not being ruled by yours either. And none of us seated here. The best we can do is to advocate for which people in power choose to believe, take it or not. Just when we're told crude oil price was a bit going up, MPA came and assured us that we shouldn't have a problem because they have buffers.
Yes.
And when it comes to petrol, they have over 9 weeks.
Is it 2?
2 weeks.
Yeah, no, 9. 9 is too much.
9 is too much.
Yes.
How?
There are 2.
So you set up a whole press conference to tell us that we have 2 weeks buffers.
At least cover. That was the cover. Yeah.
And the 2 weeks, exhaust before the increment. And how many weeks do you have for the diesel?
That one, I don't work at NVA now, so I'm just dealing with what.
So why is diesel price going up? We have buffers, which we bought at a cheaper price. But diesel has crossed the 15.5 mark, even with the buffers. We are being sold the buffers at an exorbitant price.
But the experts are telling us that after the new review, that's what's affecting it. So, of course, there's a review. But
why are we having increments in the
global
first place?
Markets, they
Which
say.
Global market?
No,
just to quote our president and a few NDC functionaries. That's why I'm saying that in opposition, they were blowing hot. In government, you are blowing cold. Just to quote or paraphrase our president, which I hold dearly. That yes, Russia-Ukraine war.
This is President John Mahama.
Yes. How can you sit on a plane and Russia and Ukraine are about 7,000 kilometers away, and you are telling us that if bombs are being dropped in Russia and Ukraine, we seated here eating our kenke.
I'm just prompted that we have 7 weeks of cover for
petrol
for diesel, and then 6 for
petrol.
For petrol.
Yeah, I heard something like that.
Something like that, 6, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So if Russia-Ukraine war was some 7,000 kilometers away, for which reason, by God's grace, those in power today believe that under no circumstance should such international excesses affect our local economy. Why are Ghanaians paying more even for buffers? We've not gone into the realms of buying the crude oil or the fuel at the prevailing prices today. Because I don't think it will take 1 week for fuel to get to Ghana. If you order minimum 4 weeks to 8 weeks for a ship to arrive, isn't it?
Yeah.
But even with the buffers, there has been an exorbitant increment. And we were alerted yesterday, just yesterday, that Ghanaians should tighten their belt, brace themselves for another 15% increment, even with buffers. So if the new prices kick in, and it was a check that they check.
Are you saying that buffers should vitiate,
that is what we're told, not to worry, because we have buffers.
Who told you that?
Didn't NPP organize a press conference? How did we get to know we had 6 weeks and 7 weeks buffers?
Yeah,
how did we know?
But I'm saying...
I'm asking, how did we know, my brother?
Okay. But
so why giving us that information?
I'm just also asking you.
If it wasn't for assurance that we shouldn't worry, why did you come give us that information? Or you just sat there and thought, let's just go and talk Ghanaians that we have buffers? There was a reason, context, to calm us down. Now don't worry, we have buffers. And in less than a week, we see prices skyrocket.
Yeah, but Doc, that's why I'm asking you the question. Are you saying that the mere fact that you have a buffer, it vitiates the price volatility?
Why would you come and tell us in the first place to do what with it?
But there are two concerns for the consumer: access and price.
Oh, so it's about access. Now we shouldn't worry. It can get to 100. We still have fuel. That's why they organize the press conference.
If fuel is 2 cedis and you don't have fuel on the market, you wouldn't buy it.
So I'm asking that consumers, don't worry, it's going up and we will increase it, but don't worry, we still have buffers.
They didn't say that. I'm just saying.
So exactly. So that's why I want to know why they came to do that press conference.
Yes.
If it wasn't to calm us, if it wasn't to tell us that the exogenous factors would not have any dark consequences on us.
On price or access? Which one?
Both.
Okay. That's what you were told.
That's what I believe. Okay. Otherwise, why would you give me that information? To do what with it?
I see.
That the market seller will come and tell me I have cassava. Yes, I know I go to the market, I get cassava. Yeah. Why would you organize a press conference and tell us that, don't worry, Mokola or Agbogblosin has cassava? Yeah. To do what with that information?
So you can go and buy.
But I've been going to buy, and I know you have cassava.
Okay.
Right? Under no circumstance should fuel price increase in Ghana. Under no circumstance. We are lucky to have people in power.
When you say this,
we are lucky to have people in power. At the time, they were berating the NPP administration, telling the people that the economy had failed under the NPP. They still believed that the Ghanaian economy was immune to foreign excesses. That's not what we were told. But we were not told that we were in the ditch. Even with the so-called bad performance and with the so-called bad economy, which we were told the NPP superintendent over, they still believe that even in our West states, the economy was immune.
Okay. So you're saying that
if I was sick,
should not go
if
up.
I was sick, right, and even in my sick state, they still tell me that under no circumstance should any other virus or bacteria knock me down. Then you still believe that, yes, I'm sick, but I'm still strong, isn't it?
So we're holding that principle.
And today,
yes,
the reverse has happened.
So you're saying that prices should not go up.
That we are told that the economy is vibrant. That's not what we are told.
Yeah.
That the economy is resilient. That's what we are told. That today, if people can't get food to eat, the answer is that yes, you are not getting food to eat because the economy is good. That lies down. Fuel is down. That's not what we are told. So under a sick economy, the government functionaries and the NDC then believed that even when the economy was sick, Ghana was still immune to foreign excesses. And now we are no more sick. Now we are resilient. Now we are strong. And we have 2 weeks. 21 days, 21 days of bombs dropping miles, kilometers away, pushing fuel to this level and telling us that we should brace ourselves for other harsher, severe impacts. That's disingenuous.
I see. Okay. So prices should not go up.
Why should prices go up?
Okay. But prices can come down? But prices
it should come down because the economy is good, isn't it?
Right.
The prices should rather...
It should come down.
At the time the war is happening and there's no bomb dropped in Ghana and we have a resilient economy,
the prices should drop.
the prices rather should reflect, our economy should reflect the prices. In that, even if the crude oil prices are going up on international markets, let us walk the talk by reducing the prices. That is the only way we will get to know that indeed our economy is resilient.
Okay, because of time, let me hear from Ivan.
Yeah, Blazard.
Yeah.
I think we shouldn't trivialize this whole conversation because it's a major thing that everybody is following and people want to really understand what is prevailing. And I can also say that the prevailing circumstances can no way be used to rationalize how reckless the Ghana's economy was managed under President Akufo-Addo. And that is all that people are seeking to find a certain justification. You see, there is an ongoing conflict in the Middle East where almost 90% of oil that goes to places like Japan, South Korea, and eventually back here passes. Even the America, who eventually initiated this war, just about 2% of it oil passed through that canal, you understand? So the impact, quite obvious. If you go to America today, there has been a sharp increment. But you see, what people are seeking to do is that under President Akufo-Addo, when the Ukraine-Russia war kicked in and COVID kicked in, they use it as a basis to rationalize everything. And for that matter, same principle must apply here. Before COVID, before the Ukraine-Russia war, the World Bank country director had warned that the rate at which we were borrowing recklessly, our debt were becoming unsustainable. And post-COVID, if you remember, Ghana and Zambia, Zambia was the first country to default on its external debt obligation, and then Ghana, we defaulted completely. So the economy getting fractured under Akufo-Addo had nothing to do with the Ukraine-Russia war. And the fact that the economy was mismanaged, the fact that we borrowed recklessly, these were the internal circumstances that created a veritable avenue. So when this thing kicked in, there was no way the economy would stand. And again...
So it contributed?
To a certain extent, you can. But you see, and he also said, oh, the economy today is worse. Which economy? I don't know which statistics he has, because there is no single statistics out there that will point to the fact that the economy today... Please, allow me to make my point. That will point to the fact that the economy yesterday was better than the economy today. Because if nothing at all, the reputable rating agencies around the world like Moody's, Fitch, S&P have all upgraded Ghana, you understand, contrary to what we had in the past, you understand. So I am not saying that Ghana is out of the woods, but you need, there has been some advances. Today the currency is stable and we are not paying much for the oil or petrol, whatever you call it, because the currency is stable. Just imagine the dollar is trading at 15 cedis. How much will we be paying? So it means that that natural, some of these natural buffers are already kicked in. You understand that? And the fact that there is an ongoing situation and people are really making references to it, because today the major casualty in this trade is oil. But in the Ukraine-Russia war, oil wasn't the major commodity because how much of the oil do we buy even from Russia? You understand? Europe had their brands because they were buying much of their gas from Russia, which America put pressure on them to disconnect. I know the day that there was a gas crisis in America, and at the time they said, "Oh, Ukraine-Russia," and we were asking harmless questions: that what is our share of trade with Ukraine and Russia? There was absolutely nothing.
But today, what's your share of trade?
But today, all the oil we get in this particular country, because Tor got fractured, could not, how do you call it, refined crude, everything that we use in this country come from external, and many of them come from UAE. You understand? So there is a direct linkage. And even America. And you see, some of these prices, it's not just about the actual loss. It is expected loss. That is why all the prices have started going up.
But you say if you have buffers, then you shouldn't be having...
Then I'm saying that there are some of the buffers has inherently kicked in. For instance, like the dollar. You understand that? And there has been other mitigatory factor that has also been factored in. It is the reason why you are not seeing that sharp increment, because elsewhere it's over what we are paying. People are paying more than what we are paying here because of this CD stability. So what I'm saying that people did not criticize President Akufo-Addo because people were being disingenuous. It was just political. There were actual circumstances, certain reckless decisions, certain mismanagement which occasioned, and people were speaking to those facts. When we were borrowing recklessly, didn't we warn? Didn't we raise concern?
But has the principle been established by the NDC that once external factors cannot shock the economy at the time, then it shouldn't be comparable this time?
No. The thing is that you look at the commodity, the commodity at the time, they were not even able to quantify, put value on exact impact that Ukraine-Russia was.
Are we able to quantify this one?
Today, I'm saying that the commodity, the victim commodity at the center of this whole discussion is oil. You understand? We will have that particular conversation if we have Tor in a good standard refining crude. And then we can have that particular conversation. But today, every barrel or every liter of crude that we use in this particular country comes from that particular place. That is a direct commodity. But I'm asking you, if you go back to the Ukraine-Russia war, they mentioned Syria, apart from...
And also fertilizers.
Oh, okay, fine. So what was the impact? And at the time, the issue wasn't just about prices of diesel and petrol. You understand? It was, the entire economy was fractured. The entire economy was broken because the ratings which came didn't talk about oil and gas. But today, the concern that we have is not about dollar. The concerns that we have is about the price of a particular commodity, which to a certain extent has been mitigated. So we cannot use this particular occasion to rationalize the incompetence of the governance that we had at the time. You cannot use it, you understand? And the stakes are totally different. So let us situate this whole conversation in a model that we can have and move on, because you see, there are, like I'm saying, there are a lot of propaganda merchants who have been activated, and they are desperately going around just to use this situation to rationalize this whole discussion. But you see, the narrative is totally different. That is why I've provided the basic before the war, and even the COVID-19, which many of the problems were heaped on. Look at how they use the COVID-19 to fracture this particular economy. You understand? So I think you need to have this particular conversation in the proper time, not to use propaganda to justify, to rationalize a certain incompetence which were so overwhelming today. The finance minister, who was at the center of this whole everything today, has run away. We don't even feel ashamed to sit on platform and call him to come back and answer to the people of this country.
So, because of time, let's be
very. It will be brief and straight to the point. First of all,
do just 2 minutes.
I'll give you the time.
First of all, it is very clear that Ghana, Ghana is a net exporter of crude.
Yes.
So my attitude towards all this is that the Ministry of Energy must immediately organize a press conference and tell us how much windfall would also accrue to the country called Ghana. Because the proposal by the minority is the most useless proposal anybody can go with. That you go and remove the 1 cedi. So that when oil prices transcend beyond $150 and it's still going on, what else are you doing?
No impact.
They're just throwing something there just to, we got to be serious. So from the United Party's position, the minister must come and tell us how much, because we are also selling the crude. The windfall that is coming to the country. Then, because of the war that windfall is coming, so we use, if not all, portions of it to cushion the people of this country. The 1 cedi levy they brought was to deal with a specific problem, which was to retire the energy sector debt of about 3 billion that was left by Ejekunu's administration.
If you are going to point me, then you have to be candid to facts.
I will be candid. Today I don't want to go
you have to be candid to facts.
You want me to exhaust the
I know it very well. You have to be candid to facts.
The $3 billion that they left. The last time we were told by the Minister of Finance that they had paid about 1.47 billion out of it, which is a good thing. They also told us they will be using part of that levy to be buying crude to supply some of these thermal plants to deal with issues of what doing so. At least in majority of our areas, the doing so seem to be, though there are patches of in some areas that they have to deal with. I've said that the minister must be up and doing in those areas that they are experiencing. Especially when you go to the Ashanti region, the situation is not that good. They must deal with that. But that levy must be there to deal with the recklessness of the erstwhile administration. Now, I saw where my brother was going to, trying to whitewash Dr. Mahmoud Bao.
Have I mentioned Baomi on the platform?
But I don't need you to mention the name, because all that you were saying that there should not be any increment in price, because, I mean, the war is so far. You remember in 2015, it was Dr. Mahmoud Baoumia that told us how can exogenous factors bypass Cote d'Ivoire, bypass Mali, bypass Burkina, Togo, and hit oligarchs. And he laughed on top of it. Didn't you hear him? So he had set the baseline for all of us that no exogenous factors could affect the country Ghana. And the same person came back to us when there was Russia-Ukraine war, that our cedi and the crude prices were going up because of what? Russia-Ukraine. And people said, but you had told us in 2015 that there could not be exogenous factors affecting the management of the economy. And that was the basis of it. So if today you want to turn the narrative, the United Party will not allow Jandam to fester. We are in Ghana's politics to always speak the truth.
Okay.
So the 1 cedi must not be taken off.
All right.
But we must be cushioned by the windfall that we are also making. And they must also go after all those that have looted from us in the energy sector. Blatant thievery, daylight thievery. Okay. And with this, we will all be okay.
Yeah. So, it's just unfortunate we've run out of time.
No. I'll be sacrificed. No, I mean, I'll be sacrificed.
15 seconds.
You know, today you sacrifice.
Yeah, 15 seconds for each of you.
During the time of the Russia-Ukraine war.
Be brief about it, yes.
Right. Where Ghana gets our fuel, was there a selective price for our fuel?
No, but
he's saying fuel was not in the equation.
I'm asking. The NDC is telling us today on this platform.
Yes.
The NDC rep.
The NDC does not have a rep.
The NDC rep.
Are you don't mind rep? No. That one
he can call me that I don't care.
I disagree with you.
Oh, solo. Then you can call me John on the platform. I'm saying you can call me John Mahama. Telling us that. The NDC on the platform. Call me John Mahama. It's telling us that. Call me John Mahama. We do not buy fuel. Call me John Mahama. At the time of COVID and the war, when the prices shot to 120, where Ghana gets our fuel, are we buying it for 20?
Okay, we need to go.
We buy for 20. Are we buying it for 20?
We need to do.
So if you claim that we are not getting our fuel from Russia,
we need to go.
So if the world price hits 120, it shouldn't affect us. Then why are you getting our fuel from Iran? The only advice I was expecting from it is the things the NDC said, which they are not explaining. They are not explaining.